And thank you all so much for coming today to our monthly Montana Children and Youth Services meetup. As a reminder, this happens every month on the last Wednesday of the month from 10 to 11 a.m. It's completely voluntary. We choose a different topic to talk about, and they're always recorded, so you can watch them afterwards if you're not able to come live. But a lot of times, you know, these meetups are kind of informal discussions and just a chance for people to connect across the state about a topic of interest. So you're welcome to come to whatever ones you're interested in, you know, but it's not mandatory at all or anything like that. So our agenda for today, I do have a few Children and Youth Services announcements and updates. I have a quick update about the Teen Adulting 101 program. That was our topic of discussion last month. So I'm going to give a bit of an update about that. And then we'll talk about our topic today, which is Summer Reading 101. And then the honor of the attendees of today's meeting is that you guys get to pick the topic for next month's meeting. So I have a list of topics that I just kind of brainstormed, but you're also welcome to think of things and then suggest that at the end as well. But we'll all pick that together at the end of the meeting. I am keeping an eye out on the chat box, so feel free to put things in there. We're a pretty small group, so you're also welcome to unmute. And then also, if anyone wants OPI credit, if you attend live, as you all are right now, I can provide that to you as well. Just email me afterwards. Okay, so a few announcements. I just got word that we are able to host a Ready to Read rendezvous this year, which I'm very excited about. It's been a while since we've had an in-person rendezvous. The last one was in 2019. And the rendezvous is our early literacy focused conference. So it's a time for any librarian who works with children and families to come to a weekend-long conference to really focus in on early literacy and early childhood services. So this year, the conference is happening in Lewistown from October 21st to the 23rd. So the 21st is a Friday. It'll be the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I am still in process of getting together the workshop speakers and the conference schedule, but I'm hoping to have that finished by early June, and then applications will go out for attending at maybe in mid to late June, depending on when things get scheduled. So I do encourage, if you work with children and young families and you're interested in having some intensive professional development where you can really examine and reflect on the work that you're doing and where you want to go in the future, the rendezvous will be a great place to do that. You'll also be able to connect with peers all over the state. We're going to have some really great presenters, and it's just super fun. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's well worth it. And I'm really excited to be doing another rendezvous. We're still figuring out the budget and all of that, but my goal is that everything will be covered for attendees. You just have to get yourself to Lewistown. So once you get to Lewistown, room and board and all your meals and stuff will be covered. So we want to make the barrier to entry as low as possible. So let me know if you're interested in this. I can put you on my little information list, and then I will send the application and conference schedule out on Wired, but I can also send it individually to you if you let me know that you're interested in that. If you have any questions about the rendezvous, please let me know. I'm happy to talk more about it, but I just want to let folks know ahead of time that this is happening for sure this year. I also wanted to bring attention to the Children and Youth Services MLA sessions that are happening in August. So there's a ton of stuff that's actually going on. I think there's more Children and Youth Services stuff, but the stuff that I'm leading, in case you're interested, is the youth development for teen services at your library session, and then reimagining school readiness. So that's the reimagining school readiness is a toolkit that will give you tools and resources to use in your current work that can help your community and your children and their families prepare their kids for school. And the youth development session will be on, there might be some stuff in there about like specific teen programs that you can do, but it's actually more a bit about, what's going on with teens, both emotionally and physically during this time. Like, why do teens act the way that they do? What's happening with their brain development? And what does this mean for teen services? So it's a bit more of a kind of philosophical, foundational discussion about teens and the big changes that are happening, and how libraries can be a great support for teens during all these crazy changes. I believe they just posted the conference schedule for MLA. So again, there's other stuff from people in, other librarians in other states who are presenting. So I encourage you to take a look and see if you're interested in going to MLA and attending any of those. But I did want to let you know that these are for sure happening with Children and Youth Services. Also, there is a Teenanigans event. This is not Children and Youth Services related. It's just a little social event at MLA in one of the evenings, but we're having a little tea swap, and we'll have little snacks and things. So if you're interested in hanging out with people and just kind of chatting with folks from all over the region, feel free to come to that. And that'll be just a really chill little social hour. So, okay, any questions about these announcements before we move on? Nope. And I don't see anything in the chat. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. I keep on clicking too much. So I do have a quick update about teen adulting programs. So this was our topic from April. And if you haven't heard of Teen Adulting 101 programs, this is a thing that libraries across the country have done, where they do a series of topical workshops or programs. And a lot of, like, each program in the series is covering like an important skill or a basic how-to or something like that, especially as teens are learning to become more independent, maybe are starting to think about what they want to do in the future, that sort of thing, that can be super helpful to them. So the approaches that libraries have taken to this it's been very different and very varied. But what we talked about in April was that there were a few libraries who were interested in doing this. So I'm going to work on creating 5 presentation templates on these 5 topics that libraries can then use to try and find local experts to present on this topic at their library as part of a Teen Adulting 101 series. So it's basic finance and budgeting, car and or bike maintenance, taxes, resume/job searching basics, and then cooking. So I am still in process with this. I have found someone to work with basic finance and budgeting. I've reached out to people about the other things, but I haven't yet heard back. So if you're interested in this and you want to try this out at your library, feel free to let me know, and I can put you on my kind of little interested libraries list and keep you updated on how things go. But yeah, this is something that I am working on, and we'll hopefully have more updates as things happen. Okay, so now we can actually move on to Summer Reading 101. With this presentation, I just wanted to give you all some starting points for thinking about summer reading, for helping you figure out how you want to structure things. The main thing I do want to emphasize is that there are no rights or wrongs with summer reading. There is no end all be all summer reading entity that is saying this is how you must structure your summer reading program. So I just want to encourage people to, figure out what works for your community. Experiment with what that might look like with summer reading. Make sure that you are enjoying yourself too. If you're having fun, then that kind of translates, and most likely your patrons will be having fun. And I think the way summer reading looks at your library is kind of dependent on this question of what does success look like to you? Maybe your summer reading program doesn't even have any reading. Maybe it's just all about activities. Maybe it's just about like helping people meet each other over the summer. I think thinking about that question, what do you want summer reading at your library to look like? What does success look like? That will kind of help you structure your summer reading program. And, even if things don't work, the great thing about summer reading is that it happens every year. So if things don't work out one year, you can always figure things out and plan something new for next year. It's great when you found something that works and you are like, yes, I want to do this every year. That is awesome. But no one is saying that you have to do it that way. So if you want to switch things up, you totally can. If you and your staff are on board with that, that is okay to do. So I think sometimes people feel like they have to do summer reading in a certain way, or like they have to have prizes, or they have to have, I don't know, a certain number of performers each year. And that is not the case at all. Summer reading is whatever you guys decide to do, and that can look different every year, and that is okay. So just a reminder, summer reading is what you want it to be, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. Okay. There are some general things, though, some general trends across summer reading programs that a lot of people tend to have. So I did want to include those in here because I know, especially if you're starting from scratch, planning a program from the bottom up can be really difficult. So these are some helpful program structures that a lot of summer reading programs and libraries have, and you're more than welcome to follow this if you want. So one thing that people think a lot about is registering participants in order to keep track of who's participating and who's not. Some libraries will have a big registration kind of like kickoff day. And so they try and get a lot of people into the library to register all at once. Some people are like, come in whenever you want and register whenever you want. You can do it on the first day of summer reading. You can do it on the last day of summer reading. Doesn't really matter. So it sort of depends on how you approach that. The different methods of registration, you can do it electronically. So they have these fancy schmancy apps these days called, well, there's a wide variety of them. A couple of them are Read Squared and Beanstack. I think those are the ones I've seen here in Montana. But some people also just use a Google form and a Google spreadsheet. So people come in and they say, I want to register for summer reading. And then, the staff person just brings up the Google spreadsheet and puts in, name, email, age group, or whatever information people are collecting. So that's totally cool, however you decide to do it. Some people use a combination of all of these things. So, whatever works best for your workflow, you can use whatever tools it fits best. So a lot of people also still use paper. For larger libraries, I do think a lot of them tend to use electronic just because it's easier to keep track of things. But for, some of the smaller towns and the smaller libraries, they're like, oh, we don't really need an electronic tracking registration system. People come in, they fill out their registration sheet, and then we can easily keep a file for each person. So, whatever works best for you. And again, you could use a combination of electronic and paper stuff. Yeah, I've seen all of these in libraries all across the country and they all work as long as you figured out a system that works for you. So that's oftentimes step number one, is how you're going to register people. Step number 2 is a lot of people track participation. So once people are registered, you can either give them a reading log or some sort of participation log, or explain to them how they can track their participation. So often that is with reading. So libraries will track, minutes or hours read. In some cases, other libraries do number of pages or books read. Some people track number of events attended or the number of missions completed. So it really kind of depends on how you structure the rest of your program. That will sort of affect the sorts of tracking that you can do or even want to do. But again, all of these are valid. It's just a matter of what you're most interested in doing and what your sort of standard of tracking is. You can choose to do all of these, or you can choose to do none of them. It really depends on what you're interested in doing. There are reading logs there's a ton of reading logs that you can find online. If you just Google like summer reading log, you'll probably find a bunch of examples. And so that is one thing where sometimes people keep reading logs at the library because things get lost or whatever. Other people just give it directly to the patron to keep track of, and then they turn it in. So there's some options there. Let's go forward, please. Okay. Another part that is pretty common in summer reading programs are events and programs. Some people do a kickoff or a wrap-up event. So they have a big opening party, people come and register, they maybe have performers or food trucks or, whatever. Some of them can get really big and very like community-wide. Others have a kickoff event where it's just like, yeah, come have some cake and cookies or something and come register and have some punch. So it can be as chill or as big as you want it to be. And then similarly with a wrap-up event, some libraries have done a little awards ceremony for kids who complete all of the summer reading challenges or things like that. Others will just have like a performer at the end to kind of wrap up the summer reading program. And many libraries don't have a kickoff or a wrap-up event. They just kind of announce, hey, summer reading started or summer reading is ending. Great, thanks so much. And there's not really an accompanying event, and that's totally cool too. Performers and presenters are a great resource for summer reading. There's a ton of people who travel around Montana doing specific library programs. This is an area that's great for library collaboration as well, especially for Montana. If people are coming from out of state, a lot of times they're very, very interested in going to multiple libraries while they're in Montana. So if you're trying to get somebody and they're like, oh, I'd love to come, but I just don't know if I can justify the cost for one library. You can always reach out to people around you and say, hey, are you interested? Because this person is really great. I'd really like for them to come. And maybe if we get 2 or 3 libraries, they might be more willing to make the trip out here. So that's always a great thing that you can try and coordinate to get performers, especially from out of state, into Montana. And, it's sometimes worth asking if there could be like a bit of a discount, if we can guarantee you 3 or 4 performances, maybe that's something that we could get just like a slight discount on. So that's something that I have seen with people organizing different presenters especially from out of state. Let's see, additional things that people do are they have additional missions or supplemental activities. And by missions, I mean things like, so there's oftentimes, once or maybe twice a week, the library will say, okay, we have a summer reading program, come learn how to make a paper boat or something like that. And so that's something that the library is facilitating. But then oftentimes libraries will have additional missions that a person can do on their own. So it's not necessarily something that's happening at the library. It's just like, hey, if you want, you know, like read a book about birds and then go and take a picture of a bird. And that's considered one mission. And so people can check that off if they've done that. And some libraries will have multiple missions. Maybe they'll have like 1 or 2 missions a week. And then if someone does a certain number of missions, they can be entered into like a prize contest or something, or get some sort of recognition. So that's like a supplemental thing. Some libraries don't do that at all, but some libraries, you know, their patrons really like it. I've seen people organizing their missions as like a bingo board. So, you know, people can choose from a long list of missions and like put it on their bingo board when they've completed them. So there's lots of different ideas on how you can structure this. And I know that Read Squared and Beanstack, those kind of electronic registration apps that I was talking about, they have options for tracking missions and supplemental activities. So feel free to look into that if you're interested. But you know, it's also okay if you don't do that, especially if you're starting out, because that sometimes can be a lot to organize. Another question that people think about is if they want to do prizes or not. This is another thing that I like to emphasize to people. You do not have to have prizes if you don't want to. Again, there's no law saying that you have to have prizes. A lot of libraries do. And I think a lot of that actually comes out of kind of partnerships and community involvement, because, you know, a lot of times people are really, really happy about summer reading programs because it's great. They're super fun. It gets the kids learning. And so, you know, local businesses and local organizations also want to be involved. And so oftentimes they'll kind of donate like, oh, here are coupons that you can use as a prize. So sometimes, you know, you might just have prizes available because people are interested and wanting to be involved and wanting to help out the way that they can. So I'm not saying that prizes are bad or anything like that, but you also just shouldn't feel the pressure to do prizes if it doesn't fit with your budget, if it doesn't fit with what you're trying to do. I've seen people get very stressed about the prize part, and I'm like, that's not the most important part of summer reading. So I just like to reassure that people that you don't have to have prizes if it's not a good fit. But going back to partnerships and community involvement, like I said, a lot of people are really happy to be involved with summer reading. And so, you know, it never hurts to ask, like, is there any way that you're willing to support this? Yeah, can you give like a 10% off coupon on an ice cream for something? Or maybe if people do a certain number of things, they can come in and get a free hamburger or something like that. I mean, depending on the age group, of course, you know, you can alter prizes to do different things. I know that for teens in particular, which can sometimes be a difficult group to entice to participate, things like gift cards can be really good. Gas cards are a really great motivator, I've heard, for adult and teen programs. So there's a lot of ways that you can get creative and try to involve community members and really getting them to participate with certain things that you might be able to get as donations from your community partners. So that is something that's worth looking at, and it can help strengthen those relationships between key partners. But again, prizes are not a requirement. So that is something that you can actually choose to do or not to do. And then, as I mentioned earlier, summer reading is unique in that it comes around every year. So it's a really unique opportunity for experimentation and improvement. If something doesn't work, that's totally fine. And you can just make a note of that and then say, okay, I'll do something different next year. So you get lots of chances to change things, to tweak things, to figure out what what people like, what people don't like. It's always very funny to compare, especially with like statewide or even nationwide summer reading conversations, because some libraries will say, oh, my patrons really, really love this activity. And then other libraries will say, oh, I tried that and they really hated it for some reason. So each community has very distinct likes and dislikes. And so something might not work super well, it might not land, and that's great. And you can always try something new. Or sometimes it's just that particular combination of kids that year. So even if it doesn't work one year, you can just wait a couple years and then try it again. And sometimes people really like it then. So, you know, the main point is that you can always try things out. And it's okay if it doesn't work out, because you'll always have other opportunities to try it again in the future. And again, that question of what does success look like, that can really help you figure out what you'd like to work on, what you'd like to change, and what you'd like to do next year. I also like to encourage people, again, if you found something that works and it's great, that is awesome. But it's also totally valid to want to change things up. You know, I think not just for summer reading, but for lots of things. I think sometimes we realize we do things because, oh, that's just how it's been done. And sometimes it's a great reason. And sometimes, you know, maybe that's not enough of a reason to keep things the same. You know, just because things have been done a certain way doesn't mean that it has to be that way. So, obviously you want change and new things to be intentional, but it's okay to try things that are new, and to not feel like you have to follow things in a certain way just because it was done a certain way in the past. So that was kind of just general summer reading structure stuff. I think if you go through those main questions, you can sort of figure out like, yeah, how do I want to register people? What kinds of events do I want to have? How am I going to track things? And that will kind of help with a lot of the structural parts of your program. I wanted to see if there are any questions about that before I go on. See, I don't see anything in the chat. No questions? All right, I shall move on, but feel free to circle back to this if you do have questions. This next part is talking about specific resources that you can use to help with summer reading planning and summer reading support. So the main one is the Collaborative Summer Library Program, which I never call it that. I just always call it CSLP. That's probably what you're going to hear it as. But CSLP is a summer reading consortium for public libraries in the States. It's been around for many, many, many years. And I think Montana has been a member of CSLP since the early 2000s, I think. So it's been a while. But through Montana's membership, all Montana public libraries are CSLP members. So all of the resources available through CSLP, Montana public libraries can use. You don't have to. You can design your own thing completely and not use any CSLP stuff. You can use all the CSLP stuff. A lot of libraries in Montana, I think, end up doing a mixture of the two. So they plan some things on their own, and then they do use some of the CSLP materials to help support that. But it's totally up to you whether you use 100% of CSLP stuff or 0% of it or something in between. The main thing is that you are aware that these resources are available to you for free as a member library of this consortium. So the things that CSLP has is they decide on a theme and a slogan every year, and that's decided upon as a group through the consortium. And then they provide professional artwork for each theme and slogan. And so they get, famous children's illustrators to do the artwork each year. This year for 2022, it's Sophie Blackall. In the past, we've had a bunch of really famous children's illustrators, and the artwork each year is always absolutely gorgeous, so well done, really colorful. It's available for, there's a ton of stuff that's like, here's a bookmark with the artwork, here's this, but you can also use the artwork to create your own materials as well. So that's available as part of the CSLP package. There is also an online planning manual for summer reading, and this is a really, really, really useful thing. I think this is the resource, in addition to the artwork, that libraries end up using the most. It's, I think, like 300 or 400 pages of summer reading activity ideas that you can use at your library. Some of it is stuff that's like it's divided into early literacy, children's, teens, adults. So for example, in the early literacy section, they have a whole list of songs that you can use in story time that's related to the theme. So it has all the lyrics, it has finger plays, it has things all related to the ocean or marine life, or, anything kind of water related. So these are things that you can kind of pick and choose and then slot into what you're already doing. They also have a ton of standalone activities. So maybe you're looking for a STEM program related to the summer reading theme. There's a bunch of ideas on that. Maybe you're looking for some sort of teen program that is, I don't know, a little bit longer. They have ideas for that related to summer reading. So the planning manual is really, really, really great. And I think that's what a lot of people end up using because it's so good for sparking ideas and helping you figure out what you want to do for the different events in your summer reading program. They also have a social media toolkit, which I really love because all you have to do is copy and paste and maybe find an image or something. It's so easy. I really don't like writing social media captions. So it's really nice when I can just copy and paste something and put that into the state library, Facebook or Instagram. They also have public service announcements, and those are available on the website. And so you can share that with your community. And they also just have a ton of stuff. They have research on summer reading. They have a lot of really great resources on summer food programs. So how to become a summer food site, or how to partner with your local summer food site so that you can help provide educational opportunities and also food for kids and families during the summer. So there's a ton of stuff that you can look at CSLP. And I really do encourage you, especially if you haven't used them before, to just set aside like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go through the website, look at all the different tabs, and just become a little bit familiar with what's on there. Because again, you might not use everything, but there might be a couple things on there that you find super, super helpful. So just to let you know, as I said, all of these resources are available for free to Montana public libraries. But some of these things are password protected because, we just want to make sure that CSLP members are the ones who are using it. So the artwork and the planning manual, those are password protected. And so that password becomes available each year around October. So the 2023 code will be released in October, and then I will email that directly to library directors. And it's like a PDF letter saying this is how you can access it, and this is the access code. So starting in October, if you haven't heard from me with the code, feel free to reach out. I will send reminders on Wired and stuff, so you can look for that information there. And also check with your director to see if maybe, I don't know, something got lost in the inbox. But yeah, starting in October, basically, you'll have access to next year's manual. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could start planning then. I think a lot of libraries don't usually start planning until like March. But if you wanted to, you have the option of looking at things starting in October, and you'll have access to the manual and artwork at that point. Oh, I see Shannon says, definitely tons of great stuff on CSLP. Yes, so please do take some time to look at the website. I am also happy to talk more about CSLP. I'm happy to look at the website with you and help explain things that are on there. It really is a great resource, and I do encourage people to just look at it and see what's there, even if you don't end up using it, just because it's good to be aware of what's available to you. Any questions about CSLP? Okay, let's go on to the next resource. Some of you might have heard already about the summer reading trunk for this year, but this is something that we usually do each year. Started off as a partnership with the Museum of the Rockies, and they're our main partner as well, but sometimes we bring in other organizations that are related. So for this year's summer reading trunk, we worked also with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, and they helped provide a lot of great stuff for the trunk. But the summer reading trunk, we usually have 3 or 4 activities with the materials in there, plus an activity guide, and then libraries can borrow the trunk to use it with their patrons for summer reading. So usually the Museum of the Rockies and the State Library will work together, in January, February, March, to putting things together. And then in April or May, we have an unboxing webinar. And that's where we talk about, here's what's in the trunk, here are the different activities, here's how you lead the activities. We have some brainstorming with everyone attending about how can you alter this or change it, depending on age group, depending on, whatever. And then people can borrow it for the summer. In the past, we have been able to make multiple copies of the trunk so that libraries could receive their own copy of the trunk to keep, but that was not financially sustainable. So this year we only have 1 copy of the trunk, and I am guessing in future years we're only going to have 1 or 2 copies of the trunk. So I don't think we'll be able to fulfill all the requests that come in with the trunk, but that is an option. And I am hoping to make these trunks available year round, not just in the summer. So if you aren't able to borrow it during the summer, then you can always request it for later on in the year too. Another resource that I hope a lot of you took advantage of this year, but this will be available next year, is the Town Pump Keep Kids Reading Grant. The Town Pump Charitable Foundation, I think, has always supported summer reading programs in libraries, but it was kind of just here and there, depending on if a library was applying for a grant. They would be given support. But starting in 2021, I think, especially as a result of the pandemic, I think Town Pump really saw the importance of providing educational opportunities to kids. And so they have started a separate specific grant program called Keep Kids Reading that provides grants to public libraries to support their summer reading programs. So the grant amounts are $1,000, and they're hoping to continue with this grant program in the future as well. And then this is also a reminder that you should look for other grant opportunities around the state. A lot of big companies like Town Pump, First Interstate Bank, those sorts of organizations, they often have a charitable foundation. And so they're always worth reaching out to see if there is an opportunity for financial support for your library program. Oh, I see that there are some things in the chat. Oh, Stacy asked, when do we find out if we received the Town Pump grant? I believe I was talking with Bill the other day, and I think he said he already notified all the libraries. So Stacy, if you haven't heard, maybe they just missed you. Do you know for sure if you applied for a town pump grant? Austin says, I believe it's supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks after applying. Yeah, I think they wanted to cut the checks in like mid-May, late May. So it's like now. So Stacy says, I did apply. I received one last year. Okay, I'll follow up with you, Stacy, afterwards. Because Bill at Town Pump has been like, we are happy to support any library who applies. So maybe things just got lost in the shuffle. So I'll reach out to you, Stacy, and we can talk a bit more about that. And Austin says, if you have multiple branches, you can apply for each. So that is very true. So if you have multiple branches, each functions as a separate library in the eyes of Town Pump, which is great. And Shannon says, I don't think they've notified yet because we haven't gotten the official notification, but our local Town Pump manager told me that we will be getting it. Oh, awesome. I'll also check in with Bill too and see, because I'm guessing probably other libraries are maybe a little worried about that. So I'll ask him and see what may be going on there. But yeah, this is just a great resource. And I think they're kind of unique in that they, I think Bill has said, we really encourage libraries to take the full $1,000. I think sometimes libraries are like, oh, we only need 200. And Bill has said, no, you're getting 1,000. So they've been incredibly generous, incredibly supportive of library programs. So I do encourage you to, apply for this in the future. And the last thing I wanted to mention were the monthly state library webinars. Starting in January, we have summer reading brainstorm webinars once a month. And it's a great chance to connect with your peers across the state, folks who are also planning summer reading and are probably wrestling with the same challenges and ideas that you are. So it's great to ask questions. I kind of provide updates on summer reading stuff that's going on as well. But it's mostly a brainstorming, exchanging of ideas and solutions and troubleshooting. So you're also welcome to reach out to me individually at any point in time. I love talking summer reading. I love hearing about what people's ideas are. And I'm happy to brainstorm and help you think about how you want to structure your program or anything that you might be wrestling with. So, you don't have to wait until a webinar is happening. You can always reach out at any point in time, and I'm happy to chat with you. So yeah, that is all the stuff about summer reading. I purposely left things kind of open-ended and a little vague because, again, I don't really want to be prescriptive in how summer reading should look or how it should be. That really is kind of your decision as the local expert, as the person in charge, to think about how you want your summer reading program to look. Just know that summer reading can be beautiful and wonderful in all shapes and sizes. So don't feel like you have to follow exactly what other people are doing in order to be successful, because success looks very different depending on each community. Any questions about all of the information that we just covered? No questions? Okay, then I guess we'll go on to our future CYS meetup, which is happening on June 29th. So this is a list of potential topics that I wrote down: storytime sharing, young adult collection development, non-summer reading program reading challenges. So that includes things like 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten, The Big Read. A lot of libraries have winter reading programs. Any other things that you might have heard of? Other topics, program evaluation and reflection, facilitating training in your community, or any other ideas that you might have. So, oh, Sheila asks, are we still doing brainstorming? You mean in this session, or do you mean the summer reading brainstorming webinars? We can continue to talk about summer reading if you want, but I do want us to make sure to pick a topic for next month's CYS meetup as well. But Sheila, if you have any questions about summer reading, please let me know. But yeah, any other ideas for next month? Or are any of these intriguing to you all? Austin says, YA collection development. Any other thoughts? Shannon seconds that. Okay, and Stacy says 1,000 books for kindergarten, and maybe that can be our next topic after young adult collection development. But yeah, so June will be young adult collection development. Yay! Thank you for helping me decide. And then the 1,000 books before kindergarten can also be another topic in the future. And then Sheila says the monthly summer reading brainstorming. Yes, I think that those are finished up. I think people are about to start with their summer reading programs. But you know, you're also welcome. I don't know if I've showed you guys. Let me actually stop screen sharing. But there is a space online where you can ask questions and let's see. I'm not sure how many of you have visited our Moodle site. Oops. Let me share my screen again. How many of you are familiar with, have visited this site? Hopefully, maybe a couple of you. Well, this is our state library Moodle site. And we are kind of in process of getting this organized. We are kind of revamping things and hoping to relaunch it in early fall, I believe. So things might look different in the future. But I do encourage you to, you know, create an account here and look around. There is a course called Library Program Resources Sharing Space. So if you click into here, you can see that there are different sections. So there's general library services and programming, youth services, economic development, and then you see there's a section here for summer reading, and there's actually a summer reading sharing and discussion forum. So if you click into here, you can see all sorts of discussion threads on different topics. So this one's about summer food, this one's about summer reading, this is about general CSLP's theme, Oceans of Possibilities. So you can contribute to these discussion threads, or you can start your own thread here, you know, add a new topic and ask questions to the community. I encourage you to check this out. Again, if we go back into the main course, there's all different kinds of topics. So you can choose one that you want to discuss. But I'm hoping that this becomes a sharing space, a discussion space for people to ask questions. You know, there's so many great conversations that happen on Wired, but then it just kind of like floats away into the atmosphere and there's not a great record of the conversation. So I'm hoping eventually some of those things can move into here so people can see the conversation and stuff. Austin also says, we follow the Facebook group CSLP's official summer library programming group, and that gives some great ideas for decorating. Yes, that is an excellent suggestion. CSLP, I think, also has a Pinterest page. And so there's lots of great ideas there for summer reading stuff. So I encourage you to check those out. Okay, any other questions? See, I don't see anything else in the chat. Right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop the